And then we, Kilche again, the second board from Kilche, again showing the walking. Okay, we walked and we walked and we walked, and always found it interesting. I was always lugging behind everyone else with my big camera equipment. So I got a few shots of the people walking, and yeah, Jews are okay. This surprised me. I mean, I can't imagine anywhere else in Europe them making stickers with the slogan "Jews are okay," but there it was, stuck on a memorial, reminding the people that yeah, Jews are okay. They're normal people like the rest of us, basically. And the memorial from the American, I think from the 70s, late 70s or early 80s, if I'm not mistaken, some American comes over and designs a memorial that should be kept clean and washed by the people that live there. That's the whole idea. Wonderful memory idea, really. And what is it? It's dirty. No one cleans it. No one looks after it. So much for the memory in Kilche. Okay, so we're just moving down now on the left-hand side of the wall, the vertical boards again, and we're in Wutsch. We're in Litzmannsdorf, or Litzmannstadt. Yeah, Adam kept telling us, be careful. We have to be careful, you know. We're going into the ghetto part. We're going into a very dangerous part. Within 10 minutes of arriving there, an old lady had come up to us, asked us what we were doing. She left, came back 10 minutes later and brought us 2 blocks of chocolate. So much for it being dangerous. But, you know, there was a certain edge to the men in the place, I must say. I did find it a little bit disconcerting in some places. But I grabbed a shot of the old lady, the old chocolate lady, and I was just lucky to have a little girl walking across the image. She stopped, had a look at the dog, and for me that was really nice.
It's the first photo on the top.
Yeah, it's the first image at the top. Yeah, that's right. Thanks, Rob. Yeah, and then again on these boards we've got the numbers of the addresses and the streets. We're looking around, and then we've got the lady that again in the chocolate lady photos. We were at number 26. I don't know the street name, but it's here somewhere. And there was a lady looking, and Adam, our guide, our historian, asked if we could photograph her. She said, yeah, no worries. Again, surprising us because we expected everyone to be a little bit camera shy. And she just asked for us to wait for her to finish her cigarette. As you can see, I was a little bit impatient, but it's a lovely shot anyway. And again, the next shot on the board, the second shot, were again the addresses. Where there was a shield and a number, I photographed that. I tried to get a decent image, and yeah, we're moving on. A little bit of the graffiti. It's there's this anti-Semitic graffiti all over the city. It's one football club calling the other football club bad names, and they both use this anti-Semitic graffiti, which is really strange because there's no Jews left there. You know, there's 200 people left there. I mean, I don't understand. It's just a ridiculous stereotype that's going on there. But hopefully our friends in the Tolerance organisation are going to look into that, I hope, and we'll see.
Institute of Tolerance.
Yeah, I hope they do something with the football clubs because it's long overdue. The next couple of shots, again, we're in the Jewish cemetery. Again, a working shot there, and then we've got some more addresses. And then we're moving on. Yeah, the top shot's a little bit abstract or a little bit strange because I've got the fence is really focused, but the background is unfocused, and that's purely because the priest didn't let me photograph him, and I just had to have a photograph of a priest. As you see, I've got a nun in the other shots, and I thought I might as well put a priest in there. And I just shot it from the hip, but it works really nicely. I kind of like it. Next shots, again, addresses. The fourth board along, the very last shot with the heavy graffiti, Miasto jest nasze, was translated by Adam to mean the city belongs to us. It's another football graffiti sort of statement, you know, but it's also, I don't know, very heavy insofar as that no one else can come here except for us. I found that a little bit scary, more scary than the other stuff. Okay, we're moving on. Backyards, front yards, empty blocks, where they used to live, where the houses used to be, and the addresses of the houses. Again, in Litzmannstadt, we were looking specifically for where these people were, where the Hietzingers ended up, and we did find some places. In the last board on the wall, there's a shot down the bottom that looks very strange, and I think it's probably a lot of people have been wondering why that's been included. That's our, as Robert named it, the kosher way, the kosher Straße. Basically, they're building a new Schnellbahn or Straßenbahn in Wutsch, and they discovered a whole mess of Jewish remains that had been moved supposedly by the communists when they built some buildings, and they were put in the middle of the street in no order with no markings, and they were dug up when they were building the Straßenbahn, and surprisingly enough, the mayor went to great expense and great trouble to try and sort this out, to try and to leave the public works there, but also to appease the Jewish people living there. Maybe Robert should take over the story now, because I think he's got a little bit more information to say about this. Go for it, mate. Okay, now we've crossed over the hallway, and now we're on the boards that would have been on our right on the way up, and now we're heading back towards the start of the exhibition, and we're on our left, and we're in Auschwitz. We're Auschwitz, I think is the correct Polish. Yeah, like I said, I'd been there before about 10 years ago, and I'd found a totally different Auschwitz this time. It looked like a little bit richer. It looked like the people were better dressed. It looked like there was something going on. Everything looked a little bit cleaner, a little bit neater, a little bit tidier. And there were banks everywhere. Everyone's giving credit out. Everyone's giving money out, So yeah, we just try to get a few shots of the city, the feeling. And the first board basically has that. The banks are there because one of our Hietzing was a banker. And I thought and Robert thought we'd concentrate on the banks. Second board moving along, just some images of the camp, Auschwitz B, Birkenau, as it's historically known. The first shot is from the middle tower, the Tower of Death, I think they call it supposedly. You can see the heavy shadow of it across the boards, through the window. And then a shot through the barbed wire of a church. I mean, they've built a church across the road from Auschwitz. I find that really hard, but fair enough, mate. It's their land; they can do what they want, can't they? Yeah. Again, third shots. The fourth board along. The nun in the middle. Yeah, a nun on a bike. It's nothing special, but there she was, and now she's on the boards. The first shot's really strange. We're walking along, and Rob says, "Hey, look at the chickens." And then we look on the left, and there's a group of people there as well in a car. And the chickens in an empty block, and they're discussing. It looks like who knows what they're doing there. They could be planning something, a bank robbery maybe or something. I don't know.
But you had to look. You wouldn't see the chickens
because
they are very small on the right side.
That's there. The chickens are not important in the image now. The people on the left-hand side are there. Yeah, and then the last shot is just an impression of the camp. I mean, there were no trees there 60 years ago, 70 years ago. There was nothing there. These trees have been put there in the last 30, 40 years. And then, Radio Maria. Well, I didn't know. We took the photo because it looked interesting, the idea of having a Christian radio station only 50 meters away from the beginning of Auschwitz. And then we found out later that this radio station has gotten into trouble with its anti-Semitic ravings and sayings and programs. And again, it's just hard to understand how something like this can be so close to a place like Auschwitz-Birkenau. But then again, I'm just a visitor. They're dealing with it. And the last shot actually is my favorite because what happened by accident is that I blocked out this Tower of Death, and now Birkenau, Auschwitz just looks like a normal building. Take out the tower, take away the car, Homicha in one way, Babicha in the other way, and there's no tower, there's nothing to be scared of anymore. But it's not true.